Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Brandy Marie. How y'all doing? What's going on? What is up? I had mentioned in my last video that I was going to be taking a trip to Mexico, and I did it. Unfortunately, I did not record or vlog anything I should have, but it was just, I was having too much fun, okay? I wasn't living my best life, all right? It was my first time ever going out the country, so I was a little nervous, but then at the same time I was super duper excited. Like, I wanted to just be out and see the world, and I want to travel a lot more after this experience. I feel like I'm ready, you know. I want to go and see more things and experience more countries, different cultures. Yeah, this video is just gonna be about things to remember when you're going to Mexico, some helpful information for you if you've never been. We flew into Cancun, and then we had transportation take us to Playa del Carmen, and it was about maybe a 45-50 minute drive. It wasn't that bad, but it was dark, so we didn't really get to see anything. Anyways, don't forget to like this video, comment, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content from me. I'm trying to make a lot more content for you guys. I have so many things planned, so many exciting videos I want to do for you guys and show you guys. And yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get into this. Okay, so number one, your passport. Honestly, you just need your passport when you're traveling and getting through TSA. Once you get into the country and you're at your hotel and stuff, you won't need your passport, like, at all. What I did was I just left my passport in my hotel room, but I took a picture of it on my phone, and I also had my ID in the photo too. So I had my passport and then my ID, and I took a picture of it, and I just had that. You're only gonna really need your ID if you're like going out to like bars and that type of thing. They need your ID, or if like you're going to clubs, they need your credit card. You're gonna have to use your ID. I don't think you need your passport for that, but for sure they will need your ID. But unless you're doing something super crazy or something that you shouldn't be doing, where you get caught up and they ask for your passport, you should be fine without it, honestly. The second thing to remember is the currency. I didn't exchange currency at my bank. My friend did, and I think they took like between 10 to 20% of the money that you're exchanging. So say if you wanted to exchange $100, they're gonna take 10 or 20% of that, and you only get $80, but they're gonna exchange that in pesos. I exchanged my money at the hotel, but instead of doing it in like bulk, I just did like a little bit at a time, because I don't know why I did it that way. Oh, I didn't have enough time to go and exchange my money, and I didn't know it was gonna take like a couple of days if you do it at the bank. So I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna exchange it at the hotel, casino, and they'll deal with it. But it was really easy. It was simple. They did take, I believe like 15% or 18%. It was 18% that they took for the currency exchange, something like that. You can exchange your currency at the bank, or you can do it at the hotel. They also have like little areas where you can exchange your money at the mall, or we went down to Fifth Avenue. They had like little stores and stuff where you can exchange. Also too, with the currency, you're able to pay for stuff with US dollars. It's just expect to be given change in their pesos. For pesos. I feel like I'm saying it incorrectly, y'all. Pesos. Yeah. And lots of times, like if you're going to the restaurant, hold on, let me just tell you guys this right quick. So we stayed at an all-inclusive resort, so everything was pretty much included for us. Like we didn't have to worry about food or drinks or any of that. Like we literally, they had restaurants, buffets, different stuff we could eat. The only thing we really had to do was tip. When I talked to like the hotel concierge, they said that they preferred to be tipped in US dollars. We didn't really get too much detail into why, but at the hotel they prefer to get tipped in US dollars. And if you're like going out and stuff, it's better to pay with pesos. So if you're going shopping and stuff. But lots of times too, when we were at Fifth Avenue, they took American dollars, and I bought some stuff and paid with US dollars, but it just depends on where you go. Number 3, speaking of Fifth Avenue, that's a little outdoor shopping market. It's kind of like a farmer's market, but without the fruits and stuff. You're able to haggle. So I had bought a bracelet and they were asking for a certain amount. I was able to haggle it down just a little bit. It wasn't a lot, but it was just like a couple dollars in US dollars. It was kind of cool to do that. This is my first time ever like haggling, and I'm like, okay, I got this. But you are able to haggle like the little vendors that people were selling stuff if you want to buy what is those things called? Souvenirs. If you want to buy souvenirs, or if you want to buy clothes, all little shops, they'll work with you. Number 4 on tips to remember when traveling to Mexico, learn some Spanish, or at least try to learn, because you are going to their country and their main language is Spanish. So if you only speak English, you don't know anything, or you don't know how to communicate at all, it's really hard. Or if you don't know any Spanish at all, it's really hard to communicate with other people. For example, with me, when the cleaners came in and to clean, it's kind of funny, but then again, it's not. Like, the girl was speaking to me in Spanish, but I would reply in English. And she speaks to me in Spanish, and I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't know what to say. I got nervous, like, I was getting scared. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I really don't understand what this girl is saying to me. But then I was like trying to like be nice about it and like respectful about it by, what did I did? I was asking her for some towels, because they took my towels, but they didn't like refresh them or give me new ones. So I was asking her for towels, and like she spoke to me in Spanish, and I was like, oh my God. And she spoke so fast too, and I was like, oh my God. And I kind of was just like, okay, how do I communicate with her? I had to like point at stuff. It was so embarrassing. Like, that's embarrassing. Like, I didn't know no Spanish to communicate with this girl. So honestly, yeah, learn some Spanish. It's really beneficial. It's really helpful when you're communicating with people. And if you don't know any Spanish, this goes to my tip number 4, or this goes into my tip number 5 with being respectful. Be respectful to them, be respectful to the people and their culture, be respectful to the wildlife. We have like little, what do you call them? Coiti or something? The coiti. They're like little animals. They're kind of like pests. They could be a pain in the butt, but you know, just be respectful of their wildlife and stuff. But going back to the people, just be respectful of them, be respectful of their culture, be respectful of them in general. You know, they are people, and we are going into their country and experiencing their culture, so just be respectful to them. Tip number 6, things to remember, is tipping. we were at an all-inclusive resort, so everything was included. We didn't have to pay for anything unless you wanted to like buy a bottle of champagne or something. So when you go to the restaurants, they're working very hard to take care of you and serve you your food. Make sure you tip them. You can tip in pesos or you can tip in dollars. I know the currency exchange rate is different. I honestly would prefer you tip them in US dollars. I believe they make a little bit more versus you tipping them in pesos. Because you know, their currency exchange rate, it's a little bit less, it's a lot less than ours actually. So make sure you tip them. Tip the cleaners when they come in and clean your room, tip the waitresses, tip the people at the bar. Just make sure you're nice to people and tip. They're very appreciative of that. So tip number 7 is pay attention to your surroundings, especially if you're going off of resort premises. You have to be careful. Like, the people when we were there, the people were very nice to us. Like, they were very nice to me. Like, I didn't have no problems, but still you need to pay attention to your surroundings because people are watching you, people are looking at you, you know, especially if you look like you don't know what you're doing, or if you look lost, people might try to like try you or something, you know, and you might get scammed into something, or you know, anything. Just be careful. That's just goes for anywhere you go. You better pay attention to your surroundings. There's always somebody watching, and that's facts. My last tip is this one is tip number 8, I believe. Make sure you get transportation ahead of time. So when you get to the airport, make sure you get to the airport you already have your transportation set up, because it costs way less and you'll save way more money, and you'll save a lot of time versus waiting till you get to the airport and trying to get an Uber. They do taxis there, and they have like vans that will take you places. So you are able to haggle, but it's better just to have it done ahead of time so you don't have anything to worry about. That airport is very chaotic, and especially if it's your first time, you walk outside the double doors and you're like, everyone's trying to give you a ride and give you a taxi, and it's like, a lot of them do speak English, but then again, a lot of them don't. So it's like, if you don't know like where you're going or anything, you might get lost, maybe. I don't know, just make sure you prepare your transportation ahead of time. So that's it, you guys. That was all my tips that I have. If I think of more, I will give you guys a part 2, but just please take those tips into consideration when you're traveling to Mexico, and also if you're traveling to different countries. I don't know what it's like in other countries because I've never been there, but this is specifically for Mexico. If you're going to Cancun, if you're going to Playa del Carmen, yeah, keep those in your head, in your minds, into consideration. Tune in next time. I'm going to be doing something super dope, super fun for you guys, and I can't wait to see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time.